I just got this article off the internet, off a website called jpupdates.com. It's the first time I've visited that website. It says, in newly uncovered document, Islamic State vision echoes Hitler's Mein Kampf. I think this document should be entitled, Newly Uncovered Islamic State Document Forecasts Greater Exodus. Greater Exodus, as you know, is the biblical prophecy where the 10 lost tribes, actually all 12 lost tribes, will be returning to Israel by miraculous means, similar to the children of Israel coming out of Egypt. Remember those miracles that happened with Pharaoh. It says, a 32-page Islamic State document calling for open warfare against non-Muslims has been uncovered in Pakistan and authenticated by retired U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency Director General Michael Flynn and other intelligence officials. I wonder why it's in Pakistan. You'd think that this would turn up like over more near the Iran, but anyway. The document has been compared to Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, the political manifesto in which the Nazi leader outlined his plan for the future of Germany and its Jews. Well, there's a whole lot more about the plan to uproot not only the Jews but all the 12 lost tribes, even the 10 lost tribes that are hidden and don't even know who they are, than it is in that document. Okay. The Islamic State document blames the appearance of jihadist organizations on the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. The document declares, no sooner had the British government relinquished control of Israel, Ben-Gurion, the leader of the Jews, declared the independence of the State of Israel, triggering a global migration of Jews to the Jewish state and launching a systematic persecution of Palestinian Muslims who had to abandon their homes and migrate. Okay, that appears to be accurate from their point of view. But I would point out that the biblical prophecy is that not only the Jews, but all the lost tribes will return, and as you know, the Orthodox Jews pray 3 times a day for the 10 lost tribes to return to Israel. Those that were scattered into the Assyrian Empire and never returned. Of course, the Jews, along with the Benjamites and the Levites, were scattered into Babylon and did return at the time of Daniel. The document, titled A Brief History of the Islamic State Caliphate, ICS, the Caliphate according to the Prophet, contains a 6-stage plan for the development of Islamic State and for conquering the world. I knew about that for a long time, so that part of the document is not new to the world. You can probably find more about that on the internet. Godfrey Grinder laid out the stages as follow for the Now the End Begins blog. Phase 1. Awakening, 2000 to 2003. Islamic State calls for a major operation against the U.S. to provoke a crusade against Islam. And it says September 11, 2001, so I wonder if that's just an editor's note, because I don't think that was in the original document. Phase 2, shock and awe. Now that's a military term. I think that's just the heading of the editor. 2004 to 2006, Islamic State will lure U.S. into multiple theaters of war, including cyber attacks, and establish charities across the Muslim and Arab world to support terrorism. Phase 3, self-reliance, 2007 to 2010. Islamic State will create interference with Iraq's neighboring states with a particular focus on Syria. Well, the focus on Syria is happening to this day. It's still in the news. Phase 4, reaping, extortion, receiving. 2010, 2013, Islamic State will attack U.S. and Western interests to destroy their economies and replace the dollar with silver and gold, and expose Muslim governments' relations with Israel and the U.S. Well, we already know that even ISIS has started a gold-based currency, isn't that right? Phase 5, declaring the Caliphate, 2013 to 2016. Not much detail. The document only states the Caliphate according to the Prophet. Well, we know a lot about that, so that's probably he didn't put much in there. You can find all about that on the internet. Phase 6, open warfare, 2017 to 2020. Islamic State calls for open worldwide warfare against all non-Muslims, followed by a messianic vision of a peaceful era. The document's messianic vision paints a picture of a world in which only believing Muslims remain alive. Well, the book of Revelation paints the same picture, except claims that only believers that obey the Torah and believe that Yeshua, Jesus, is the Messiah, will remain alive. Okay, so that's two sides of the same coin. Asked about the document's implications for Israel, Jerusalem-based author and Torah scholar Rabbi Nachman Kahana told Breaking News Israel that the Jewish Talmud explains how God will eventually send to the world a leader whose decrees will be as drastic as those of Haman, the villain from the book of Esther, who intended to wipe out all the Jews in order that we, the Jewish people, will do teshuvah, repentance, and then the final Geula, redemption, will arrive. Well, Haman was an Amalekite, just like Hitler.